Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey.
Mike Madigan runs the Democratic House floor for 30-plus years running. He's promising this and he's stealing that. Where can you get that kind of money? He's using your house like his own piggy bank. You ought to know by now. You can pay off your house here in Illinois, but you can never keep up with the taxes. Oh, how it's always been the plan to have a taxpayer pay, no doubt. Not a matter of if anymore, but when. You're moving out. I said, when you're moving out.
Dan and Amy, good morning. Time for our weekly conversation with Wirepoint.com President Ted Debrowski, all things policy and politics related in Illinois. Ted, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. Lots of good news this morning.
Oh, yeah. Always when we're talking Illinois policy, nothing but good news. We've got a budget address from Governor Jelly Belly tomorrow, at which point he is going to offer some marginal tax relief by suspending the sales tax on groceries and freezing the state's gas tax and allowing for up to a $300 rebate on your property taxes. Boy, that's a big number in a state with the highest property taxes in the nation. So it's an election year, and Jelly Belly needs something under the heading tax relief, so this is what he's offering.
Yeah, he's offered none of that since he's been in office. He's done, virtually everything he's done has increased property taxes. He's also increased the corporate taxes by $600 million. He's done nothing that he promised on tax relief or property tax relief, for sure. And but what he's doing now, it's beautiful. It shouldn't surprise anybody. It's campaign season, and Pritzker's really good at it. The Democrats are really good at it, I should say. Where he's going to offer some relief, and it's not permanent relief. It's not reforms. It's just, hey, this is my campaign year, guys. So I'm going to give you a little money to vote for me, and that's what it feels like. And
well, it's true because he's buying votes.
Well, the other part of it too, which is just perfect for Illinois. So he and the Democrat Socialists doubled the gas tax.
That's right.
In 2019, and now they're going to freeze it for the election year.
Right, and just freezing the inflation, just the inflation component, right? They doubled it, massive increase. Now they're going to give you a little bit. Well, they're not going to give you anything back. They're just not going to increase it and make you feel like you're getting something for it, right? Same thing on this property tax rebate that he's calling it. Look, every unit of government is going to use the way the property taxes work. Most governments will be able to raise their levy this year by 5%. So basically, he's just holding it flat for people. So this will, he's going to try to make people feel like they're getting something, and they're not. And that's the sad part about this. Not to mention, he was pushing the progressive tax last year, and he got the $5 billion tax hike done back in the day. So, yeah.
All right,
it's not good.
A lot of us moms we're not holding our breath, but waiting anxiously for this ruling in Sangamon County. And I'm hearing from so many different sources that the judge is not going to make a decision until after his State of the State address. Have you been hearing any of that, or is this just a bad rumor?
Yeah, I haven't heard that part, and it could be true. I mean, I don't know, but that's how things work here. What I do know, and I like the way the pressure is going, not necessarily in Illinois, but my partner Mark Glennon wrote about this in Wirepoints a few days ago. But basically, if you start looking at the trends politically across the country, you're starting to see New York Times write in favor of mask mandate reductions. Same thing for NPR, The Atlantic. They're saying that the politics are shifting, and over time they're going to have to start, quote, waking up to the fact that this stuff doesn't work. Illinois will be behind the curve for sure, but I think it's moving in our direction, and you're starting to see that in polls across the board.
Yeah, 70% of Americans are tired of it. And in San Francisco today, I mean, this is San Francisco. Vaccine passports are gone starting today, and also there's no more masks anywhere.
Well, there's no data at all right now that supports any of that stuff. If anything, the data says it doesn't work. And the Brownstone had a really good report about how they rated Pritzker an F, and in some of the states that have had the strongest mitigations, a lot of them got F. It just doesn't work when you properly analyze the data, correlate it for lots of different things, find out that there was no rhyme or reason on any of these things, and it turns out when you start looking at excess deaths, you start to find that actually it's been worse for states like blue states, let's call it.
Yeah, Michael Betra said that piece in Brownstone. He's also got a book called Lockdowns versus the Science. He writes, there was no correlation between more in-person learning and more people getting sick in communities. Hard data shows that tight restrictions did not result in any better results than light restrictions. Closing schools didn't matter. Closing restaurants didn't matter. Wearing masks didn't matter. In the end, two mitigation tactics worked. Those vulnerable, isolating, and social distancing, which of course is a form of isolation. The rest of the mitigations seem like they should have helped, but based on the science and data, they just didn't.
Well, I think that's where the next big round of work is going to come, is looking at these excess deaths, which he does in his book. And the Center Square here in Illinois had a good FOIA where they found that the 18 to 49-year-olds here in Illinois, deaths compared to pre-COVID to today are up about almost let's call it 25% on average the last 2 years. That's a massive increase, and the number of COVID deaths in that age group does not explain it. So there's many more deaths outside of the COVID deaths. We need to understand what they are. We'll be pushing Pritzker to release more data on that. Good luck on that.
Is Pritzker going to mention anything about COVID or these mitigations during the State of the State?
He's going to say how he saved lives. He will pitch this. He's done a great job on the budget. He'll tell you that. Never mind the nearly $200 billion that came in from the federal government. And then he's going to say, look at what we did by saving lives, and he's going to play it all the way. And he might start hinting at things are getting better because if you start looking at these COVID data, you get these cases collapsing from where they were. Of course, they're still high relative to the past, but the numbers are hopefully starting to get better. And
no,
they are better.
You did it. No, no,
you didn't.
We are on the cusp of having to deal with Omicron subvariant 2.
BA.2.
And so, out of an abundance of caution, until we get a handle on that subvariant, the first case of the subvariant has just been identified in Illinois. Till we get a handle on that, Ted, out of an abundance of caution, probably another year or two of lockdowns, I think.
I take it back. You're right.
No, and Dr. Warde even said, please,
She
did.
It's not time. Hey, it's not time for our Wadi to be a cowboy. No, abundance of caution, and if not, then explain to us why not.
Yeah, I hope this whole vaccine passport. We're going to put out more data on that. It hasn't seemed to work compared to our neighboring states. At least at the beginning, it wasn't. We have to check the more recent numbers, but it wasn't like we weren't any better off with before it or after, despite the fact that we've had this mask mandates and none of our neighbors have. So again, just the data is going to prove something. But when it all comes down to it, right, it's all about who's in control of the data. And Pritzker's had it. He doesn't release it. And he gets to control the narrative that way.
Well, you also have the opportunity. I mean, if you had any Republicans in the state, are there any candidates for governor on the Republican side? I can't recall. They may be picking up on work like Michael Betras offers in his forthcoming book. You were describing this piece at Brownstone. As you said, he grades the governors. And below failing, below an F, are the complete fails. And this is what he writes. And it's based on looking at excess deaths. Governors Andrew Cuomo, Phil Murphy, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, J.B. Pritzker, Tom Wolf. There's a special place for governors that locked kids out of classrooms for a year and a half, ordered sick COVID-19 patients back into nursing homes, did not practice their own orders, shut down tens of thousands of businesses, and still couldn't beat the U.S. average in COVID-19 deaths or excess all-cause deaths. Boy, it seems to me like there's a paragraph that should be trumpeted from the rooftops, and I believe in Illinois we're the only three people talking about it.
Yeah, I think that's true, and it's sad, that's the sad part, and that's why I go back to as long as people don't know that, then Pritzker wins, and and that's his goal. One of the things that's really bothered me over the last few weeks is when Governor Pritzker said that this was a pandemic of the unvaxxed, and that 95% of people in the ICU were unvaxxed. Well, we're starting to get all kinds of hospital information. People are sending me hospital information that's showing me that, you've got up to 50% plus of people who are vaxxed in the hospitals. So we're going to have to square that up with Governor Pritzker and his information and see. We got to get at the end to some kind of truth, and I hope the data tells the truth, because we'll never get the truth from the politicians themselves.
Yeah, on Friday, Ted, CPS didn't have school again, just for, it was the end of the quarter, but they went over new COVID mitigations, and I've been told by several teachers that they were told to be prepared for the kids to be unmasked soon and for the state of Illinois to be unmasked soon. So, and then I asked Pritzker too about, are you ready to appeal the judge's decision? And he was kind of like, we'll see. It wasn't gung ho. I wasn't expecting the answer that he was giving me that, that we're going to appeal this and kids are going to stay masked. So could this be the exit ramp?
Well, he's going to need one, right? And people have been talking about how does he flip from having the most strict, laws in the country or mitigations in the country to like acting like nothing's happened, or at least being cool about it. Because probably, my guess, unless things turn for the worse, is that he'd love to run into the campaign season with, hey, I protected you. Now I'm loosening it up again for you guys. Something like that. I think he'd love that. And so,
but the Democrats don't want that. I mean, people love to be masked. They love to be, socially distanced. They love these vaccine passports. That's in the city of Chicago, and he needs that vote.
Amy, I think you're right, but as soon as the Atlantic and the New York Times and NPR start saying it's okay to unmask, they'll be okay with it, right? I mean, they'll go with the flow. It's just that we need more of those publications to say that, and then they'll join in.
It's right, and then it's time to party like it's 1999 and congratulate ourselves for the wonderful job we did, and that will begin tomorrow in that budget address, as you mentioned, Ted. And as to the state's fiscal house, there'll also be a lot of backslapping. Because, hey, they got credit rating upgrades to point to. We've done a wonderful job, and because we've done a wonderful job, because we've got these credit upgrades, now we can provide a little relief to the serfs and call it a term.
Yeah, and I think that'll be the question. Can any of the Republicans who are running make the opposite case that it's not true? I mean, Wirepoint will be making that case all the time, ad nauseum. But again, can the candidates do that? Can some of the money that's spent? We'll see if Griffin money comes in there and makes that spend. But Pritzker's going to have that his positive message, and he already does, all over the media. So we have to see if that can be countered. And
it's going to be fun tomorrow. I mean, if it goes all virtual, there's not going to be a lot of cheering in the chamber because no one's going to be there because of the snowstorm.
Yeah, and who's going to challenge him, Amy?
Yeah. Well, exactly. so what? They haven't been there for the last 2+ years. So why show up now? They just get a laugh track and an applause, applause recording, and that's all you need. Dan and Amy, that was Ted Debrowski that we were talking to, president of Wirepoints.com, all things Illinois policy related. Ted, thanks as always.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
My name is Melissa, and I bought my first home with Townstone Financial. It was a lot of personal attention. I felt like I was very comfortable. All of my questions were answered. It was a very personal, and Barry is very down to earth. He breaks it all down for the layperson who is not, usually a lender or knows anything about it. And really actually cared about me and how I understood the process. I felt that I could trust Barry and Townstone right away.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312